are at an all-time high when it comes to politics in this country. We're closer to the elections. That means people are deciding, choosing what parties, what what president they would like for themselves. And sometimes, like in every other thing, we find ourselves in situations where your preference and that of your partner is totally different. Now, what does that mean for you and your marriage or relationship? And this is based on a particular text that came in. And this, well, let me just read it before I put my sentiments in there. Hi Zulu, I broke up with my girlfriend because she doesn't support Baba as the 5th president. One word for me. And I will still hold not say one because I am not Zulu. Maybe I am Mwikali, right? Zulu.
And you might take the place of the girlfriend.
And yes, immediately.
And Mwikali, let's say that although superficially today we are discussing politics and candidates, this is one of the topics where the symptom is so loud, you may get distracted from the real virus.
Aha. Okay.
you may get so carried away by arguing about whose policies are more meaningful, who has a better history, which candidate is true, which one supports, can't you remember this and that? Yeah. Don't you see this and that? I don't see how, I don't understand how you can support a person who has this and that. What does it say about you? I wonder.
Yeah.
You know, you can get so worked up over the superficiality. And I want to quickly move you away from superficialities and generally invite you to never be carried away by appearances.
Okay.
This life, appearances deceive, and they are put there many times just to make you think it's all about what is really being talked about. The subject today, although the politics is the entry point, subject today is maturity.
Okay.
What we are discussing here is maturity for marriage. And let's start by introducing you that marriage is one thing that requires, it's so demanding, it's so testing, to strain and stretch every fiber of your being. You could have been a peaceful existing human being alone until you got into marriage. You could have been doing your career, right? You could have been generally going around and having these discussions, politics here, being the analyst in your circles, and being a job there, delivering here and there, until you get into marriage and realize the things that are required there are very different from what was required in your social circles, in your career, in other places. Why? One reason is because marriage requires a lot of emotional maturity. And that is what we are discussing today. Maturity has many aspects.
Yeah.
Now, what is the emotional maturity required when it comes to politics and partners, when you are partner in marriage and your political candidate of choice? And I'm discussing on 3 levels. The first level is how to support which candidate. And if my partner supports somebody I think is ridiculous.
Yeah. What to do then?
In our conversations, I'll get to know your opinions.
Okay.
Because we talk a lot.
Yes.
Remember what partners do a lot is they share, they talk, they journey together. When you are walking along the road with a partner or with a person, what are you doing most? Talking, conversing. Marriage is a journey. You know, there's a slope somewhere and a climb another place and a bend here and a bend there. TDJ was likening it to the motorbike. He say his brother is a rider.
Yeah.
So he carries his wife. And he say sometimes the wife, before she learned how to be carried on a motorbike, there's an art to being carried.
Oh. Hold on tight.
Not just riding. You know, these ones we do here for money.
Yeah.
It's not really motorsporting. That's not sporting.
Okay.
That's just passenger and taken slowly.
Yes.
In motorsporting, there's a skill. Actually, they say you're riding with me. You ride both of you. So one of the rules is you bend with me. You sense when you're bending, we bend together. You're supposed to balance the weight as one person.
Okay. No, that's not what we do on these our roads. Yes.
I told you what women do. They sit like sitting on a sofa set. On a motorbike like this.
Yes.
And I asked them, that motorbike doesn't need to fall to break your back. If it just swerves, you're thrown away. You know.
Yeah.
It's to say sometimes marriage looks like riding a motorbike together. Like when there is a bend and a climb and we are supposed to feel it together. So the one thing that marriage will require you that you're not so much needed is perfect harmonization.
Okay.
Just like when the writing said, the brother to TDX was saying that woman nearly killed him because she was delaying to bend.
Oh.
Sometimes she's resisting, thinking that's uncomfortable.
Oh, maybe I will fall if I let go. Yeah.
You know? And not realizing that when we zoom, we bend.
Yes.
You know, and when we to say sometimes you can get hurt very badly if you marry a person who doesn't know how to harmonize on time.
Okay.
Who doesn't know what is not necessary. Or what doesn't count here.
Yeah.
You know? And this person saying I parted with my girlfriend because he didn't support my presidential candidate.
Yeah.
Is to say this is what we are on that level where he mistakes her refusal to support that to mean that you don't either like me or my opinions, or you transfer ego and emotions and biases and your wishes. You transfer all that to marriage, and marriage required a depth of maturity that begins by understanding that the first thing you need to know is we are two of us. The world is outside. Your political candidates outside. Your family is outside. Many things that are out there are just part of the things that enrich your life.
Yes.
And if we happen to have congruence along them with my wife, it's okay. But we don't have to. In fact, there are many political candidates who never share unless you come from the same village. The MCAs, you know what is going on in your village.
Yes.
I don't know who they are.
Yeah.
I was asking that person, if it was an MCA, would you guys be this passionate about it? MCAs are closer politicians.
Yes.
They are closer home.
Yes.
This is the local one you can greet and talk, and they build a drift for you there.
Yes.
They do.
They come for your matanga.
They sponsor that orphan kid.
Yes, they do.
So, but because you don't share a village, that's not an area of fight. If you transfer this reasoning saying, this guy we are fighting over now is a person we might never shake our hands with, we may not get close to.
Yeah.
And what they do is to provide a certain climate nationally. But we have many other politicians. Why don't we fight over this one? It's because we come to realize there you can afford to have your opinion. Here, I can afford to have mine, and we can still run a home. This is the difference here, Mikali. We are saying 3 levels. Level 1 is which candidate to support. When you are mature enough, you know that sometimes what makes people support another person is purely emotional. It's not even policy. It's not. It's a part of their actualization, because many people wanted a person from their group. A certain group from our university, that guy is my colleague, my comrade. A certain group, that guy is an extended clan member. That person is this. You know, there may be some unliking about a particular person that is just intellectual, emotional, their style, how they dress, how they talk. I just like the way they they espouse my faith. They stand for what, you know, there was a gubernatorial debate the other day for Nairobi governors, and there were just 2. So it was deep because they just answering each other, throwing jabs at each other, and we are saying, look, one is an administrator, the other one is a politician. This is very unfair. One guy is clearly a performer, but he can't present his case as good. The other guy
will outshine you with the mouth.
He knows the emotional chord to strike. Mentioning this woman with a child who lacked ambulance and the child died. How can Ashes sit there? Just picture the one case of a mother and a child who died for lack of ambulance. He strikes an emotional chord to the audience, and they're like, the other guy is very practical. We need incinerators to clear that garbage. Now incinerator and the child who died because of lack of ambulance.
You don't have emotions. You are not touching me here.
But when you know what the city needs, we need a manager, not a politician. But now, many times as it happens, the manager doesn't know politics. The politician is not really a manager.
No, he's just a politician.
And he will sway the masses. They will vote emotionally. So, I wish this was just a deputy for the other. I wish the manager...
you know?
So, what if now I'm standing supporting the one who I think has a managerial approach, and my wife is passionately saying, no, this other one needs to fight for the city. It has been exploited by national government. He needs to be able to stand up to who and who. We needed it to go outside there and fund source for funding. We need a politician. What if she thought we need a politician and I thought we need a manager? And then we are here arguing over which one is which.
Everybody has their points.
My vote won't make my candidate win, and yours would make mine lose. They usually don't lose by 1 vote.
No.
This is scale of campaigning. Takes millions and hundreds of thousands of votes. So if it comes, because I find it, people are watching the debate and I'm joining there and we are throwing our opinions and that. When we are coming from the same social background, we'll agree on many points.
Yeah.
And what if we are coming from opposite social backgrounds?
Yeah.
So that socioeconomically, this guy relates with me. Where I came from, I relate to this. Socioeconomically, this other guy comes from us.
Yeah.
You guys think. So the first problem is when we personalize candidates and we forget me and you are first and foremost a unit against the world, against politics, against countries. Number two, we forget these candidates come and go, and sometimes they only promise, they don't deliver. And even when they don't deliver to your home. They deliver to the whole. So the emotional immaturity here is to mix between our teamwork and the outside world. Mikali, let me remind you, I want you to revise this principle until it becomes de facto, because even when you know something and it doesn't show up when you're making decisions, it doesn't make a difference in your life.
Okay.
This principle is when you marry, you and that person against the world, not you against them.
No.
Not them against you.
We are a team.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And although we are a team, sometimes here and there may be areas that we are not very harmonizing. The mature one among us should take the lower, just sit down and let the other person have the day. The mature one should just sit down and sometimes agree with what they're saying.
Yeah.
When there's nothing to lose. You know, in many views, you find that there's some candidates I love. There's a time I found my wife watching Robert Greene and I felt very complimented because I had studied him some time back. And I thought he's a brilliant social psychologist. But he's not a Christian. So many Christians will be offended.
Okay. Okay.
I had the wisdom to pick the flesh and leave the bones. Because what he teaches, you can hardly find anybody to go that deep.
Okay.
The principles he will teach you about mentorship and mastery and social psychology, and they're so well thought out. But again, they're very psychologically. They're just psychological. They're not emotional. So they don't really. They don't entertain you emotionally. He reasons so deeply, and you have to pause and digest what he said. Because you have seen it in many places, and he has given you a way now to put, to say, what is this?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And I said, I'm very surprised. How many girls would really study this guy? Because he's not emotional. He's purely intellectual, social psychologist. In any case, many of his books are sometimes offensive. They've been banned in many countries.
Yeah.
Some countries where they cancel it in prison. There's a book called 48 Laws of Power, one of his most famous.
Yeah.
It has many laws that are really subservient, and it's about you and Machiavellian and to defend yourself.
Yeah.
Don't care about who this world, everybody from. So he has an approach that is Machiavellian and it's just survival.
Yes.
You know, many of those I don't buy those.
Yeah.
But he has others that are very practical. Don't outshine the master. Masters always want to be respected, not competed with. This is very practical out here. And then I had heard many bosses quote him. I said, I need to know what they're quoting so that I don't trip against it. I've been employed. I was naive. I was trying to study only Christian authors.
Yes.
But every boss is quoting, have you heard 48? What is 10 years law? So I said, I need to know what they're coming from.
Yes.
When I started, I didn't like it. At first time, I dropped the book. I did not even finish it. This is not my philosophy. But later, some of them make a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Later on, I studied all of it and I got the wisdom to pick what I pick. I was complimented because my girl is studying my group, really, my teachers. It's like I felt validated that at least now I can quote something and you will understand it from that angle. I can cite something and understand. But I never put it a condition. I had the maturity to know many of my preferences are being born from my personality. Because in terms of personality, I'm rather confrontational and logical. I come combative, just straight. She tells me now you are too rough. Can you soften? Her approach is empathetic and connection oriented.
Yes.
Many of the others she listens, they get me tired because they're taking too long to arrive. What you are trying to say, is it possible to drop it?
Just get to the point.
So she taught me to listen calm teachers, and now actually to learn from calmness. I was used to energy and the concentration.
Yeah.
So I've found many ladies say, I find TDJX too strong. Why can't you be? I'm saying that's the thing now. That's how we talk. So that. So Jusmea and TDJX are top there, but there is opposite teaching methods.
That's true.
Jusmea is a teacher, soft, and she will still challenge you in her softness.
Yes.
TDJX won't take long to really shoot at. In fact, some of his were my favorite quotes, which I don't find many people quoting. Because you preach a sermon called "Still Not Saved?" Question. Are you still not saved? You still stop smoking, still cussing people out, still oversleeping, still.
Yeah.
And I found that entertaining. But how many people surely want to hear that kind of vibe? So when I understood my personality, I distinguished it from other people's personalities, and I began to accommodate difference that we can come and meet. The first mistake we make is that we think that because you support that, you come from that angle, you are against me. You're forgetting that sometimes it's a matter of personality, background, orientations, history, culturing, and instead of seeing it as enmity and animosity, you should see it as variety. I found it many of my best teachers now, I learn them from my wife, and I find her watching, find her reading, and that's why I take a keen note, because again, really she has depth, which if I come with my own biases, I'll miss.
Yes, that's true. That is so true. Yeah.
So sometimes I pause without trying to change it to follow what she was, and I have discovered rich teachers that way. But they teach calmly. Their WhatsApp group is quiet. They don't shout at each other.
No.
I never used to listen to Joel Osteen.
Why? Because
my style was the combative.
Okay.
Joel Osteen is motivational and loving, and calm and encouraging.
Warm.
And I'm finding, can you just drop the pepper here when it's hot?
Oh my God.
Because of that, I had missed on many good teachers.
Yeah.
Nowadays, she has helped me to irrigate my personality and enrich. Now I have many teachers. Is it to be listening to this person? Okay, growth is real. Instead of combating your partner, because sometimes they support Mudavadi because Mudavadi is calm. He just likes Lewiki that Kibwana presents his point in a calm way. All right? Yeah. And some people like Sonko because every now and then there's a drama episode.
Yes.
Every now and then. And when he's quiet, why is our guy so quiet? What's up? What's coming up?
What's cooking?
So it may be a personality thing. Don't take it personally. Principle number 2, what if your partner was to join politics, or a relative was to join politics, or more painfully, they're contributing money to a relative who is running? If politics come to family and they're demanding over financial, one guy said the lady has a brother who's running, so she has dropped her life to join the campaign trail, and she's among the forefront and organizers. So day in, day out, she's out there.
Yes.
Okay, he has been informed, but he was not really being consulted on his opinion.
We just want to let you know that.
Because she was one of the guys prodding the young man to take up the challenge. He's running for MP, and he has always had this political, that's their family.
Yes.
This is my brother, and he has always finally has accepted. We got a nomination. Yeah.
Ooh, that must be tough.
So the second law is, what if they bring politics and they're affecting our family time, our family money, our family dynamics, and it's affecting directly? And I was telling this brother, comfort yourself in that it's only a few months.
Yeah.
And the wave will go. She is not the one running for any position. She is supporting the one, and you can also hope that either they pass or fail. If they pass, the political mood will continue. Yes. Just adjust your life. Now there's a politician in the family.
Yeah.
And I was telling him that I hope after the elections you do a retreat or a place where you can reorganize and recapture again.
Yeah.
For now, just support with courtesy and niceness. And how was it? It went well, all right. So, but later on, come and tell her that sheikh, if I was weak, could have drifted us apart.
Yeah.
Tell her you got carried away. You're not trying to read our mood, how we are feeling as a family, me and the kids, because you would come at night, leave very early in the morning. Yes. Sometimes you stay overnight. Sometimes you're the one confronting the IBC, the officers, the wards, the papers. You're the one fighting for the other. You're fighting in front there. She's, trying to, and it's okay. It's your family, and you guys, that's how connected you are.
Yeah.
And you have a life going on there. I can never really try to stop that because that's part of your life. But I'm just wondering, if this was to go on, where would it leave our family? Ooh. So I was telling me, just buy your time, man. For now, support from courtesy. Just know that she's carried away. Wish them all well, but after 9th,
please
do a recall.
Yeah.
Because the worst case scenario is when they start draining family money.
Yeah.
When they block you away from discussions,
yeah,
that can kill the family or create a permanent rift that it was almost impossible because of the attitude with which you disregarded my input.
Yeah.
The attitude with which you took yourself away and imagined I should just fall up and cheer on. Sometimes men themselves, somebody may decide to launch into politics, quit their career, change their business, or start taking loans, which is very unwise. Politics is just a gamble for many. Like in this country, you have to really source it. And when people see a politician, they want money. For them to remember you, give them money. If you sell good policies, they forget them.
Yeah.
Because many people who make the noise are not really thinkers, they are the drunkards.
They're not listening.
Yes.
Yeah.
The people who want to make decisions, sometimes you don't have their audience.
Yeah.
When you arrive at a market, it's the touts and the motorbike guys who will decide whether they will give you audience. The real guys who needed to hear your reasoning versus the other candidate would not even get to come that close. And I was telling him that, thank God it's not happening in your family. But what if now it's your partner who wants to run for politics? When politics come to family, or when the one who's running is a relative, or when it's affecting our money and our family day-to-day life directly, they're following the rules. Rule number one is, politics is a career. It's a change. It's like business, like an investment. It's another direction of life, really. It's a direction you are taking. All decisions pertaining money and your job and business should first be discussed between us.
Yeah.
And if we can't find consensus, we should wait until we can find consensus. This is not the only time you can run for politics. Even if it was presidential, if you get the presidency and you lose your family, you have lost. Let me repeat that. If you become president and you have lost your husband in the process, you have lost. You have not really won. You'll be up there and you'll be empty.
Yeah.
One of our late presidents had a big political career and zero family life. Quiet there. We can't see a wife. We need help from. You can see just emptiness because rumors had it that when he came up to politics, he became so much of sycophant of the big man that he forgot his family and he was obeying his boss more than his wife, disregarding his family, lost connection with children. He's trying to recap later when they have lost and drifted and hated him and there are too many emotions. Yeah. So they only come to live with decency but no connection at all. The wife couldn't stand it, left and so he had a high-flying political career at the cost of his own personal life.
Yeah.
If you cannot agree with your family on a politics, wait until you agree. If you don't agree, if God called you to politics, he will also make your family supported.
That's true.
Don't rush ahead because you go there, get spent financially, get spent emotionally. Politics gains you a lot of enemies automatically.
Yeah.
Because of the two divides. Politics are divisive by nature. When you take this party, you are hated by the other party.
Yeah.
You take the other, even without your policies or your personal attributes or anything. The third and last element that politics will interfere in the family. And I want you to be very careful because when we support candidates or political divides, we're also looking at the religion they espouse. What personal interests of ours this person carries.
Yeah.
The value systems. So the third element answers to the fact that you support this person and their elements. What is it saying about the direction you are taking as a person?
It reflects on you.
There's a person who's espousing the cannabis, marijuana.
Yes.
And people are taking it as a joke and say,
yes,
he came as an amusement, as a comical relief for people. People wanted some comedy. And there's a comedian here who's coming and say, take black mamba. Even the reproductive organ of some animals. Go sell this one, I don't know how many millions.
We're looking at your dog funny. Oh my God. Now, it was hilarious.
And then some guy sang a song quickly and answering, please stop joking with us. Where will you sell that what does it treat?
Yes.
Who will you sell it to?
Yeah.
Where? What does it? Who will buy all that money for this? What? And some people try to research. Personally, I try to research. How could I have missed all this throughout all my education? That there's a medicinal value in. So it's does reproductive organs of a hyena have? Not clue. No, not.
So
where is this guy plucking his information from? And I think I was telling my wife that sometimes people are developing a mental illness, a pathology. Gradually, and I can see this is drug-induced psychosis. Sometimes when people have been into a drug, they start praising it. They become obsessed with it in their thinking.
Yeah.
They start saying, Bang was found at the grave of Solomon, it's associated with wisdom, You know, this weed is it's a holy weed, it's a holy herb. You know, it's and they have all these songs about Jamaica. They have all these songs about, you know, and all hope. Not medicinal and how it is, you know, you look at how they are praising it and they are lost in it. And they're telling you, you know, even their colors now, they adopt the green, yellow, and red.
Yes.
And they even adopt that lifestyle of, and you know, the regular life is slow life. It's never too late for a man arise to wake. The time that he wakes up, the only singing is asleep, but he's talking about waking up. And it's never too late. He wake up, time that he should. The song itself makes you sleep, but he's talking about waking up. And it's just sleepy. They don't hurry up.
No.
And they don't talk about opulence or money or class. It's just about survival.
Poverty.
Ganja farmer. And do you see anything to smile of? It's all about sadness. And when you look around, surely, see, and there's a lot of social injustice. And the poor are neglected. And so because I knew that drug effect, I saw it from the time the guy showed up. And I was telling my wife, the first thing you always check in drug assessment, how kempt the person is. Check their grooming. You lose touch with reality about your grooming and your looks and how it affects your perception to people. That's the first sign of drug-induced psychosis onset.
Okay.
They lose touch with their looks. That's always the first sign. They don't groom their beards. They don't clean up. They don't dress right. They wear something that looks like a basket. They wear something funny, twisted.
It's like, did you say a basket?
And it's very full. You know, they have a lot of dreads.
Yes.
Some of them are very high. So that the head is working extra line. They can't even use the normal doors.
They
so they are
like
talking,
this.
yes, you know. and they first of all lose touch with their looks and sense of class and cleanliness. That's always the first onset of drug-induced psychosis. It's also the onset of, although schizophrenia, some people are schizophrenic and they're very clean. In fact, they're obsessed with cleanliness. Okay. But when it comes to drugs, you always lose touch with the cleanliness. The other thing is, they start espousing ideas that are outlandish and far-fetched. And as if inspired by some foreign gods or something. So they will start talking about Ethiopia and Haile Selassie.
Moving the capital city to Isiolo.
But you know, how did he pick Isiolo? So when you narrow down, if you are talking about Machakos, maybe.
Oh, Isiolo, he said we have an international airport here.
So he's not talking about building. It's because it's there. Let's take the city there. You're not saying let's build one somewhere. Let's take the city where the airport is, not the airport where the city is. So the third thing is early indicators of a person whose value system is changing. This one, you shall not confront them. You shall just take note and probe further. When a person begins to espouse, maybe they were looking for validation to become polygamous. They're looking for validation to start cheating, for validation to start lying and living a secretive life. Maybe they were looking, and then here comes a person who, if they support them, they will have support and validation for their changing lifestyle. Okay. A politician who just got second and third wife, a politician who issued something say, men are roamers by nature, women should not be tied at home. Look at the people, this is the time for people to show you what they were thinking. In fact, in this political climate, if there are some things you had questions about, bring discussions that are just free. Look at the candidates people espouse and why. It could give you a clue of the values, the direction of their mind they're taking. Especially if you have been having doubts, it is time to confirm them. Yeah. If a person goes all the way to vote, the person is espousing marijuana. And you know, children, today we have rehab. It's a crisis.
It is a crisis.
It's a crisis. Men, boys are being lost in drugs. They're trying to get medication and try to pull them out. Some have lost it. They're living like zombies. Drug menace. The menace. Even if you're talking about exporting, the very fact that you want to grow it here and put it in the eyes of our children shows that you have lost touch with the reality. So the thing is to say here, just use it as a learning season to learn what is my person becoming, which direction are they going. Yes,
absolutely. You know, and I'm just imagining a scenario where you're married and you know the values that you saw and you chose, and then all of a sudden they want this weed smoking guy to be our president. That would throw you off. would be like, I did not see that one coming. And looking at the comments on this particular post, there's actually one that says, is this the same presidential candidate that takes his time off his very busy schedule to personally take his grown daughter to hospital? Clearly, even to him, relationships and families do come first. Why is it so hard to learn something from the people that we admire? So as you choose to give up on who it is that you're in a relationship with, who you're married to, on the account of another person who does not even know you, what does that say about you and this commitment you made to this person? Something to think about.